Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our showing of All the President's Men, 1976, the final selection in our current miniseries, All the News That's Fit to Print, directed by Alan J. Pakula and starring Robert Redford and Dustin Hoffman. The screenplay was adopted by William Goldman from Bob Woodward's and Carl Bernstein's award-winning 1974 book of the same name. The film is a political thriller about the Watergate scandal that brought down the presidency of Richard M. Nixon. Upon its release, All the President's Men met with widespread critical acclaim and great financial success, in earning $70.6 million on a budget of $8.5 million. Roger Ebert said that the film provides the most observant study of working journalists were ever to see in a feature film. Although Woodward and Bernstein were very young and inexperienced, and there was a great deal of tension and distrust between them, they eventually learned each other's strong points and weaknesses, relying on each other for the good of their project. All the President's Men was nominated for many Oscars, Golden Globes, and BAFTA awards, and won 4 Oscars for Best Sound, Best Art Direction Set Decoration, Best Supporting Actor for Robards, and Best Screenplay Adapted from Another Medium. The film covers only the first 7 months of the Watergate affair, from the time of the break-in at the headquarters of the Democratic National Committee to Nixon's second inauguration on January 20th, 1973. Redford's interest in All the President's Men began when he was reading Bernstein's and Woodward's articles as they appeared in the Washington Post. In 1974, he bought the rights to their book before publication for $450. Redford and Hoffman divided top billing, with Redford billed above Hoffman in posters and trailers, and Hoffman billed above Redford in the film itself. Warner Brothers agreed to finance the film on condition that Redford, then the #1 box office draw, would play Woodward. Because the Washington Post denied the production permission to film in its newsroom, set designers took many pictures and measurements of the paper's offices, then duplicated the newsroom on 2 separate sound stages in Burbank Studios, maintaining authenticity, even creating replicas of outdated telephone books. They bought nearly 200 desks at $500 each from the same firm that had sold the desks to the Post in 1971, then painted them the same color as the newsroom. The set took up 33,000 square feet and cost $500,000 to assemble. When the film was completed, it was $3.5 million over budget and 35 days behind schedule. Plot summary. In the run-up to the 1972 elections, Washington Post reporter Bob Woodward is assigned to cover what seems to be a minor break-in at the Democratic Party national headquarters in the Watergate building. He's surprised to find top lawyers already on the defense case, and finding names and addresses of White House officials on the account further arouses his suspicions. Ben Bradley, the Post's editor, prepares to run with the intriguing story and assigns Woodward's fellow Post reporter Carl Bernstein to collaborate with Woodward on the project. Together, the 2 cub reporters follow a murky trail which leads them deep into the White House hierarchy and right into the heart of what will become known as the Watergate scandal. Fun facts about the film. Many famous political figures appear uncredited in the film in archival footage, including Pat Nixon, Warren Burger, Spiro Agnew, and Gerald Ford. One of Redford's phone scenes was filmed in a 6-minute-long single uninterrupted take as the camera tracks in on him very slowly. Frank Wills, the security guard who discovered the break-in at the Watergate, played himself. Woodward, when looking at headshots, stills, and resumes during casting, did not reveal the identity of his source, Deep Throat, but he did say that Hal Holbrook was the best choice. Deep Throat was later revealed to be Mark Felt, Deputy Director of the FBI. Holbrook does, in fact, resemble Felt. To prepare for their roles, Redford and Hoffman hung out in the Washington Post newsroom, observing reporters and attending staff meetings. The movie introduced the catchphrase, "Follow the money," which appears nowhere else. When Kenneth Dahlberg tells Woodward on the phone, "I've just been through a terrible ordeal. My neighbor's wife has been kidnapped," he's actually telling the truth. On July 27, 1972, the wife of a prominent Minnesota businessman was kidnapped from her home in Minneapolis. She was released after her husband forked over a $1 million ransom. In real life, Jody Hoback was the bookkeeper for the committee to re-elect the president, who gave Woodward and Bernstein crucial information about the White House slush fund payouts. The filmmakers rented her former Georgetown home and shot scenes with Jane Alexander as Hoback and Hoffman in the actual living room where she had first met with Bernstein. The telephone number that Redford dials for the White House is the real number of its switchboard, 202-456-1414. Note the typing paper with red bands and a large number printed on it. This was used for long-term stories, and the number indicated the page number in the typed story. The film has very little score. Even in the closing credits, the music doesn't start until after the main actors and guest star credits have rolled by. Hoffman noted that there were traces of cigarette ash on Bernstein's shirts and ties. In the movie, Redford responds by saying, "Is there any place you don't smoke?" The movie ends with a montage of close-ups of news articles being printed on a teletype. Woodward's car is a Volvo Amazon. Deep Throat's code name is a reference to a notorious 1972 X-rated film of the same name. The excitement in the background as Woodward phones Dahlberg is due to Democratic presidential candidate George McGovern's announcement that his running mate, Thomas Eagleton, is withdrawing from the Democratic ticket. That would date the phone call to July 31st, 1972. The initial hearing on the Watergate burglary was filmed in the very courtroom where it actually occurred. Note the lovely shot of the atrium and dome of the Library of Congress, filmed with new remote camera technology. Woodward's apartment was located at 1718 P Street Northwest. Its actual balcony was used to set out Woodward's red flag in the flower pot signal when he needed to see Deep Throat. In real life, the garage where Woodward meets Deep Throat is located beneath the Oak Hill office building in Rosslyn, Virginia. A plaque was placed there detailing what happened and how it played into the Watergate debacle. The phone number that Woodward uses to reach the man who speaks no English is 305-374-1299. The number is real and is now used by Net Capital Mortgage in Miami. The extreme close-up using type bars striking paper in the opening scene was used 35 years earlier in Citizen Kane, made in 1941. The quote, pinned near Woodward's desk, is from a letter Winston Churchill wrote to Lord Rosebery in 1901. Quote, "My own idea is that it does not matter how many mistakes one makes in politics, so long as one keeps on making them. It is like throwing babies to the wolves. Once you stop, the pack overtakes the sleigh." Close quote. Robert Redford's cousin, Jeff McKay, has a cameo as an extra with an orange shirt, who is seen a few feet away when Bernstein tells Woodward he has confirmation on H.R. Haldeman. Things to look for. Listen for the catchphrase, "Follow the money," uttered by Deep Throat during one of his clandestine meetings with Woodward. Note President Kennedy's portrait on the wall in the DNC office. The contrasting lighting in the dark, murky garage scenes versus the brightly lit atmosphere in the newsroom. The real Frank Will is a Watergate security guard playing himself as he discovers the DNC burglary. Woodward's real apartment balcony with the red flag in the flower pot. The incredible, authentic newsroom set built from scratch. The Winston Churchill quote pinned up over Bernstein's desk. The extreme close-up of type bars striking paper taken from Citizen Kane. and famous political figures popping up here and there. The 6-minute zoom shot of Redford on the phone, the White House phone number, typing paper that the reporters use with red bands, the Volvo Amazon, and the interview with the creep bookkeeper in her authentic living room. Jeff McKay's cameo as an orange-shirted extra. Now it's the time to view All the President's Men. Sit back, settle down, and please remember, it may take a few minutes for the film to roll. Enjoy.